Every successful business is guided by courageous leaders who want to make a meaningful impact. We call these leaders growth champions, and you know what? They exist at all levels within an organization. The question I have for you is this: are you one of them? Do you have a burning desire to champion growth for yourself, your team, or your business? If this passion stirs inside of you, I encourage you to make the shift and have an even greater impact than you are today. Why? Because you've been called to do so. Every leader, every day, is faced with a series of choices. Many times the choice comes down to following a perceived limitation or simply showing up as a leader who champions growth. A growth champion is a visionary entrepreneur and business leader who wants to make a positive and meaningful difference and has the courage to do what is right to champion growth for themselves, their team, and the business. When you choose to be a growth champion, you are choosing to share the gift of who you are. Your gifts are always there, always available. There are no exceptions. The only thing you get to decide is if you choose to share them or not. That choice is internal. That decision is made on the inside, and only you can make it. I say this because growth champions evolve through a series of many internal shifts. What defines an internal shift is not its duration or the domain in which it takes place, but the sense of passion and the longing for something more, something better, something that brings you more ease and grace. These internal shifts reveal themselves through some common patterns. For example, the status quo frustrates you. You see what you believe others do not, and you just want to fix it now. Your brain races with ideas on how to improve inefficiencies, or perhaps maybe you wake up during the night with this powerful vision about what could be and feel that somehow you've been called to help. Whether you realize it or not, there's a major shift going on. You're listening to this right now because there's a reason. Something inside is telling you that you are not the person you need to be yet. Perhaps you need to be more patient, more courageous, or become comfortable navigating conflict. Intellectually, you know you need to grow. We all do, right? You're being asked to grow. Hell, you even want to grow. You want to make the shift, but you're not sure how to respond to what you've been called to do. If that's you, it's okay. You're not alone. I'll tell you this, all you have to do is hold a flashlight to the present moment. Just give yourself permission to make the shift. All that is required is a willingness to grow and the self-discipline to keep growing. It's that simple. While it's simple, it does require effort, conscious effort. I say that because growth doesn't happen by accident. Growth doesn't emerge from fancy slogans and motivational quotes. Growth requires a willingness to show up every day as the leader you aspire to be. See, being a growth champion is not reserved for the special few. In fact, every growth champion goes through a series of shifts as they evolve and extend themselves. What I want to do is I want to highlight 6 important shifts every growth champion makes, the associated challenges at each stage, and offer some advice so you can recognize where you and maybe your team is right now and what you need to focus on as you make the shift to the next stage of growth. One quick note, this is part 1 of a 3-part series. Today, I will unpack the first 2 shifts. Please subscribe because I'm going to unpack the others in the next couple sessions. Okay. The first shift a growth champion makes is to be a volunteer. A volunteer is highly motivated and energetic. They're action-oriented. They have an authentic desire to evolve personally and professionally. Volunteers want to contribute more, and they're open and willing to lead with or without a title, right? A volunteer wants to own, support, or help accelerate something. They ask questions like, how can I contribute? What could I share with others, right? Or what experience can be gained? Volunteering can be scary for a lot of people. Many believe they need to have more experience or be more prepared before raising their hand to support something which takes them outside their comfort zone. Volunteers are challenged to learn how to become comfortable being uncomfortable, which, by the way, is a core attribute of a growth champion. Like all challenges that grace our path, we can either become paralyzed by the weight of the challenge, or we can embrace the challenge and learn something from it. The advice I give all volunteers is this: never underestimate who you are and what you know, and never undervalue what you're capable of. See, the old you is a person of the past. The new you is creating the future. It doesn't matter what you've done or what you failed to do. Every day is a new beginning. Every day is an opportunity to work on becoming the person you want to be and the leader others want to follow. This starts with a willingness to step forward. Leaders are teachers, and to become a great teacher, one must first become a great student. The best way to become a great student, by the way, is volunteering your time, energy, and effort. The second shift a growth champion makes is when they move from being a volunteer to becoming a seeker. See, a seeker is intellectually curious and they're growth-minded. They are constantly searching for new ideas, different perspectives, and solutions to the challenges they encounter. They are willing to embrace the unknown and are comfortable navigating ambiguity. See, they ask questions like, what works and what doesn't? What can we do differently? What can we start doing, stop doing, or experiment with? The seeker is someone who welcomes change, who's willing and committed to change, and is not shy to solicit thoughts and ideas from others to co-create something better. The challenge for seekers is they have this tendency to solve problems alone. Their pride can sometimes get in the way as they search for answers. This adds a lot of unnecessary pressure and stress. In fact, a lot of seekers believe they don't deserve the success they've achieved. Some seekers have what many psychologists call the imposter syndrome, right? The advice I give seekers is this: learn to ask for help. Instead of asking, how do I do something, or just fill in the blank, choose instead to ask, who can help me? You will gain valuable knowledge when you collaborate with others on difficult challenges. Doors will be open to those who are bold enough to knock. Learning to ask for help, in my opinion, is a leadership strength, not a weakness. Moving forward, a new level of openness is required. See, seekers must learn to see a situation for what it is and then resist the temptation to judge it as good or bad, but instead just envision it better than it currently is. This requires an openness to input that represents a different perspective and a willingness to experiment with new approaches and new ways of thinking. If you want to learn the other 4 shifts, I encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss my next recording where I'll unpack them further. As I mentioned earlier, being a growth champion is a choice. If this resonates with you, I want to buy you a copy of my book, Freedom to Experiment: How to Ignite a New Level of Energy, Focus, and Momentum in Yourself and Your Team. This book is dedicated to all the growth champions I work with. Follow the link in the description and I'll personally sign it for you. Okay, if you like what I shared today, do me a favor, give it a like, share a comment related to your business, and of course, subscribe, because each week I'm sharing content to help you and your team embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. Remember this, you're just one idea away. We'll talk to you soon.